Fuck them.
Yeah, and the cop called him Tony Soprano, which is also cool. The world's most annoying cult leader.
There are two things I hate in this world: hippies and pseudo-intellectuals. And today's video covers both of them. Yeah, I could probably fall down another internet rabbit hole and learn everything there is to know about this psychopath and his cult, but luckily I don't have to. This video is called The Controversial Guru Who Wants to Upgrade Civilization.
You can have this whole other experience of yourself that you've never had before. See if you can sense the peace where I come from, the peace that I have access to, and then you can access it yourself.
This has to be the most infuriating guru I've ever seen.
Is this your first Bentinho event?
Yes, I immediately got hooked. I started listening to him every day.
Why do I feel like this woman has been a part of every single cult since the dawn of time? Like, I don't know her, but I know that that's a fact. You know what I mean? She's just like the stock cult follower.
They're not really concepts that you can understand with the mind. When people have like a laughter or crying, it's because they're really feeling the energy that is in between the space of those words.
What is this, fucking Midsommar? Everyone's just lost in the sauce, getting wavy with it?
Things like this start with who will look for answers? People that are suffering.
Spiritual people like this piss me off to no end because everything they say and do is not grounded in reality. I can't help but feel that this is just one giant method to cope, and these people actually are looking for a sense of camaraderie and community, and it is sad, but at the same time, they're falling for dumb pseudo-intellectual cult.
Haven't we seen this video without commentary? Have we? Have we seen this?
Leaders, so how bad can I actually feel?
The whole reason we even know about you guys is because the media trashed you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Why do you think they think you're a cult?
From my perspective, it's like, let's talk. Like, if I'm in a cult, like, I'll admit that I'm in a cult. Like, that's okay. Let's just talk. What is it exactly? Like, because this is adding a ton of value to my life.
The amount of narcissism to believe that you can upgrade a civilization should be a red flag.
We've arrived in the Netherlands. We're here for a sort of spiritual self-help retreat run by a 30-year-old self-styled guru, Bentinho Massaro.
Oh, wait. This is like a sex cult, right? Everything seems so familiar because we're chronically online now. Is this like a weird sex cult?
He's amassed a pretty big following online on his various platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Massaro claims to have first found
To be fair, that's not really like low. I mean, we're not really fucking figuring anything out when we say that that's a sex cult. Everything's a sex cult, right?
spirituality at age 10 and went on to seek enlightenment in his teenage years.
It always starts when you're like 8 years old and you stumble upon a forest in a fever dream and discover an ancient tome, a relic of sorts that you base an entire religion off of. Sound familiar?
Exploring different philosophies, teachers, and methods, until he reached the conclusion that these spiritual authorities were no more enlightened than himself. So he began his own teaching, and today encourages his followers to become enlightened and empowered through his Trinfinity Academy.
He's just selling courses like every other guru. I gotta start selling a
Yeah, like the top G.
course, man. I could be living like Larry right now. Oh, this is how you make YouTube videos.
With a goal of creating what he calls an enlightened civilization by the year 2035. He's gained a global audience who travel thousands of miles to attend his in-person retreats for as much as $2,000 a pop.
I mean... Cult leader starter pack, anyone?
Bentinho's social feed sells a lifestyle we all want. Adventure, success, glamour, wellness.
Within our hearts, we already know who it is we want to be.
Let me ask you guys something. Has your heart ever told you anything? Didn't think so.
He touts himself as a spiritual leader for the next generation.
I love you.
But he's unlike other spiritual gurus.
Fuck your relationships. They mean nothing.
Set your standards a little higher. Feel a little bit more miserable about yourself when you're being fucking retarded.
Hell yeah, dude.
And that's meant he hasn't been
Oh,
without his
dude, this is sick. He's doing the Gary V thing, but like taking it one step further. Let's go, baby. He's putting an ableist spin on it. I love that. I respect. Respect. He should have just said silly Billy. You know, that's just me, I guess. But, you know, everything is a cult, technically. The top of the hour ad break is a cult. Because at the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime. Right. That's culty. Join the cult for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime, or by getting gifted a sub from Pecker Protector Sohape. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
He was recently based in Arizona, where he became mired in a scandal. A since-removed Medium article was published by a writer who attended one of his retreats.
Holy shit, he really is the trifinity of cringe. He's a tater tot, he's Jared Leto's Joker, and he's Hugh Hefner. Sedona, Arizona has been infiltrated by a polyamorous tech bro cult.
Oh, God. Arizona is like the perfect place to start cults, man. The perfect place, dude. It's so good. It's just like I said, the weather thing. It just creates an incredible environment for people's cult hero. Thank you for the 5 get the subs. It's a perfect fucking. It's a perfect place because like your brain starts melting and leaking out of your ears, like I said. So then, boom.
Leader with a massive following. Of course this guy's a tech bro. What else did you expect?
Reporting what she described as cult-like practices, including promotion of fringe ideas, like joining forces with our alien counterparts, his purported telekinetic powers, and what she called normalized abuse. We decided to go see Bentinho in his homeland, the Netherlands. We've come here to dip a toe.
I really appreciate YouTube essays like Fillion and Noah Samson, but I wonder how they stay sane looking at this stuff day in and day out. Motherfucker, what do you mean Fillion and Noah Samson? What do? I look at this stuff all day for 8 hours at a time. At least they make one video a fucking week. What do? You watch me watch this shit. How do you stay sane?
In his world firsthand, to see whether he and his followers are in fact onto something the rest of us are missing out on.
Okay, so we're approaching the venue. It's a castle.
Fire.
Bro, I am out already.
So we're waiting at the gates of the venue where everyone's checking in. It's kind of a very relaxed, gradual check-in. People are coming in dribs and drabs. The thing doesn't kick off for a couple of hours.
He stays in the castle. They sit in the fucking tents. Respect.
It's a very chill vibe, you know. Everyone arriving is kind of fresh-faced and relaxed. Some people are carrying yoga mats. Everyone's super friendly, like smiling at us, like intense, glowing eyes.
The second I see these people, I am out. With their fake ass smiles. Dude, I don't feel safe. I feel like I should be watching this video through a VPN. Which is why today's video is...
Oh, yeah. Nice segue. For the record, yes. That like... When someone is a smile talker, you're either talking to a cult member or a Mormon, okay? Or a Scientologist.
I start
which is also a different way of saying cult member.
listening to him, for example, when I drive to work. My days are more in alignment and things just flow easily and crazy shit starts happening, basically.
The fuck does that mean? My main criticism for a lot of documentaries that cover the weird, wacky stuff is that nobody just says it how it is. What the fuck do you all mean by this?
To make sense of all the hype around Bentinho, I sought out his coordinator for the event, Adrian.
Can you give any insight into sort of what's going to be taught this week or what we can expect?
Yeah, this is so hard. I mean,
It's okay. I'm sorry. Why is it?
For those of the Taiwan Parliament now, oh my God, I wonder if they beat her ass. That'd be so sick.
Hard.
because I've never actually had to explain it to someone before. So the title of the retreat is called Infinity and Absolute Abundance. So one of the main teachings that Bentinho has had for years now is the moving towards the highest understanding that we have of who God is or of the Creator. And so infinity is a way of expressing that. Yeah, it's just a word, right? But we have to use words, and that's like sort of a good word.
Do you see the caliber of intelligence we're dealing with here? Like, this shouldn't come as a surprise to you. Nothing of substance was just said. I'm more confused than when I started.
In general, I was none the wiser as to what I could expect from the retreat. I couldn't seem to get a straight, concrete explanation from anyone I spoke with. Maybe it had to be experienced to be understood.
Things are finally about to kick off. We're in the main hallway where the kind of action happens, and now we're just waiting for Bentinho.
How are you? So good to... Oh, we hug.
So you're having a meeting?
Mm-hmm. Just a little team vibing, you know?
And we're allowed to be there?
Yeah, for sure.
Can you give me any insight into, like, what I might hear or what kind of themes or topics or anything, or is it a surprise?
Sure. Well, I will be laying out some of that tonight during the session, but right now I'll attend to this.
Yeah.
Because we also have to get...
Yeah, do your thing. We don't want to hold you up.
Sweet.
All right, thank you.
This comment just sums it up. The way that cult leader speaks is me trying to hit the word minimum for my college papers.
I finally met Bentinho himself. He came in flanked by his security guards, but just came straight up to me and was extremely personable, just seemed like a normal dude.
Here's a crazy thought. Why do you need security guards if you're all about love and positivity?
Uh-oh. He's getting sucked into it, dude. By sitting.
He really just sat here for 8 minutes, smiling at the crowd. This is not like a new thing for him too. His most popular video on his channel is him doing the same thing.
Silence is very addictive, huh? Get immersed in it, starts to feel really good, expansive. So one of the most important things...
The wildest part about this is, like, it's not even trying hard. I don't know. Like, how the fuck do you actually... How do you get sucked into this? This dude is not even, like, charismatic. He's just fucking weird. KS update, no at 65 with 20% of the vote in. Nice.
To make this whole life sustainable.
She doesn't look like she's into it.
Especially when you start waking up, spiritually speaking, and you start seeing through the illusions of the Matrix.
Is this guy ghostwrite for Andrew Tate? What's going on here?
Both the Matrix as well as the Matrix, the grand illusion of form, of matter, of that which changes, that which comes and goes.
As Bentinho addressed the audience, I whipped out my phone and began frantically taking down as many notes as I could, because I was unfamiliar with much of the jargon and found him almost impossible to follow.
Retracing those steps, those man-made steps, until one finds experientially, instinctively, intuitively, meditatively, the source of one's being, which is transpersonal.
Bentinho had spoken a lot of easy-to-claim New Age buzzwords that weren't in fact all that revolutionary, but it was the way he'd strung those words together that was confusing to me.
Those creatures that make up our body are second-density beings. They're creatures, cellular life forms.
How bad does your life have to be for you to shell out $2,000 just to have a troglodyte murder your brain cells?
Try to find a rainbow and put it in a pot, you'll fail 9 out of 10 times. Does that make sense?
The audacity to even ask the crowd if that made sense.
I have to say, a lot of it went over my head. I didn't find it that accessible, so to me, I have a few questions about that.
I felt like I was back in math class. The numbers looked familiar, but the equations didn't make sense to me. What then was new here? And if nothing new, what were we paying for? So with that in mind, I decided to try to seek some clarity direct from the source, while his bodyguard drove us across the grounds.
You said to me the other day, when you were on stage, you had an idea of how you could possibly show me something practically to help me get some insight.
I don't know about the practical part,
right.
But when you become extremely present and clear-minded, your energy field, if you will, starts operating like a mirror.
Okay, I'm ready for it. Let's get weird.
Let's get connected.
Get connected.
I know what it is. It's the chin smile. I can't trust anyone who smiles with their chin.
When we are silent, we get to see ourselves, every bit of it. The more silent you become, the more you see. The more you move, the more you navigate, the more you create stuff, the less you tend to see. It will teach you everything you need to know.
Is what you teach, what you offer, is it almost like a form of therapy?
Well, over the years, I've developed, I guess you could say, different levels, because you're always working with individuals.
I swear every guru has the exact same easel with a marker and they draw the dumbest shit ever as if they're cracking the Da Vinci Code.
We're at a different stage of being comfortable with who they truly are versus thinking that they're something they're not. And you could say that the more beginning levels, in a way, deal with therapy because people need to have that basic understanding that all is well, that it's okay to feel the discomfort. But beyond that, I mean, spirituality goes beyond therapy for sure.
The world has already changed a lot in recent years. The digital era has made us more aware of our anxieties than ever.
Why are they LARPing as pterodactyls out in the meadow, bro? What is this? If I was this documentarian, I would shake them. What the fuck are you doing?
So where do we turn when regular therapy and medication is losing our trust? And as more people are willing to pay for the wellness fix, it's people like Bentinho who can reap the benefits. Something as basic as shared silence, which need not carry a price tag, is being commodified in a way that can create barriers to simple and healthy practices. Practices like yoga, meditation, and if you're so inclined, ecstatic dance.
Ecstatic dance is an amazing dancing experience. And for that we have three basic...
Okay, shit's about to get weird, I think.
There's no shoes, there's no booze, there's no talking. Which means you're going to dance 2 hours.
Why is it that the sober people are always the craziest? You know who I'm talking about, the people who are just high on life, positive 24/7. I honestly think it just stems from not having an interesting personality, so you start repeating the exact same word salad and mumbo jumbo that you hear at these events.
I'm still trying. I'm still
Oh my God.
wide open, trying to understand what this is all about. Today, I listened to more of Bentinho's talk. I grasped little bits, but I still don't find it very accessible, which is disappointing.
I wonder why.
If you're stupid enough to follow this shit, I have no sympathy or empathy for you. You deserve it. I mean, that's the first inclination for people, but like, that's kind of a rough way of looking at life, my friend. It's kind of fucked up. Not exactly great. You still got to protect people who are vulnerable and easy to prey on.
Why? It's almost as if being cryptic is part of the sales pitch.
I gotta pee, I'll be back.
So we're on our way to breakfast, which every day is silent. So that's going to be pretty nice, I hope. Probably not that practical if you have kids or whatever, but I'm looking forward to it.
What happens if you talk, though? Does everyone just simultaneously crank their neck to stare at you?
Where should I sit?
Everyone's eating breakfast, you just have a mean stomachache, you start shitting your brains out. Benito snipes you from the watchtower. That's what goes through my mind when I see this.
While I can appreciate the value of a bit of quiet me time, I was having trouble figuring out what, apart from his lectures, sets this apart from the plethora of meditative practices available to us anywhere in the world. Is this just a new take on a not-so-new thing?
The older I get, I'm starting to realize that the more you think about thinking will just drive you mad. I don't think it's productive.
So there's a water fight happening to my right and a volleyball game to my left. Wow, what fun. It looks so fun, right? Do you play this every day?
No.
Whose idea was it?
Some other volunteers. I just said, let's fill some water balloons, and then we ran out there.
Sex cult.
The point of view on it is that everyone should throw their points of view away. Ultimately,
I understand this is a lot to ask of people, but throw your points of view away as much as you can.
But then I'll just end up like you.
When you're automatically catering to a group of people who are, in theory, more vulnerable, that's a lot of responsibility for you.
It's one of the reasons why I'm shifting out of the bigger retreats. There are people that are vulnerable that come into the retreats. Not all of them can be recognized or filtered out. I do experience greater peace of mind when there's 20 people.
I feel like the paywall for stuff like this makes me feel not as bad for these people, but I can sympathize with the world literally breaking your brain so badly you think it's a good escape from it. I mean, these people are obviously also, like I mentioned before I went up to get up to pee, like clearly easily manipulated. You know what I mean? No one who's like super sound of mind and body is going to be like, oh yeah, let me join the fucking weird cult. I mean, all cults are weird, but like, this one is not even fucking directional. I think alienation factors into this as well. People are lonely. They're looking for friendship. But like, I get the Moonies, right? So for me, like the Korean Unification Church, right? That one makes sense because there's like history associated with it. There's an ideology and like that one is still incredibly fucked up and they're still going after vulnerable people, but at least there's like a target and a goal and a stated purpose. Whereas this guy's like stated purpose like is somehow even more fucked up than these other kind of cults. And his like sales pitch isn't even that great. My mom, when she was younger, joined a cult because she was lost. Now she's completely normal, but people can fall into that shit easy. Yeah.
And I can talk to each one of them. And I can be accountable for each one of them.
The language he uses is so predatory. I like a nice small circle so I can influence them more. You know, I can really tap in and take advantage of their need for some sort of collective feeling.
You feel slightly vulnerable as a teacher giving those bigger events. There's a sense of vulnerability there. The scientific community is far from scientific, in my opinion. I'm scientific, but that's my opinion.
I love when my guru denounces science and empirical data.
And many teachers have spoken about this
top
all
G.
over the world, in all ages of humanity.
One day I was actually just kind of in my room sitting there and I just had this really strong urge to type in universe into YouTube. So I did. And
that's awesome. That's fucking fire. Don't do it. Don't Google. This is when Googling goes wrong, boys, okay? You Google once, and then before you know it, you're like literally in a fucking cult, okay? Hot girl shit.
Bentinho's Parallel Realities video came up.
This guy has a girlfriend, man. Blink twice if you need help.
I couldn't understand a word he was saying. I had no spiritual context.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah, I had no spiritual context, but I just had a feeling to just go deeper, just keep going.
Was this something you were like doing on your own, or is it like you had a couple of friends who were also, because...
No, it was just me. Yeah, it was a very, very strong desire to, because I knew, I was like, there must be a formula for happiness. We're supposed to be happy, so what is this?
Bro, imagine thinking there's a formula to happiness, and this guy is the answer.
What is the guy like at home? Give us some insight.
So, yeah, you know, we like to go to the movies.
Do you guys have like a favorite movie, TV show or something that you're like super into? Or
No, but we do quite a bit of superhero movies.
Yeah?
Yeah. But, you know, it's...
God, he's like a fucking annoying little bugman nerd, too. Like, he's like, I'm Marvel. I love what... Like, this dude is the least interesting man on the planet. You know, other than the cult thing. Cult thing is interesting.
It's fun to immerse ourselves in that. And
oh, great. Marvel movies. Oh, I'm gonna save the day in my spandex.
Experience how there's soft disclosure happening of things within the government, technologies perhaps that are not being shared with everyone, but they will share them.
Bugman is a 4chan pejorative that groypers love using to say that someone is like a mass consumer. Even though 4chan and them, no matter how esoteric their beliefs are unironically also a part of that.
these amazing movies.
I mean, she's got a point. There is
How do you know these things? Because I'm brain broken.
alien technology in these Marvel movies that the government is hiding from us.
And plant the ideas in people's heads.
So you think there are predictions happening in these like superhero movies?
Well, not predictions, but I'm saying that you can see subtle hinting to a more magical type of existence.
Thought it was an Asian pejorative? No. It might be, but the reappropriation of that slur means like that you're just like, oh, well, you're also susceptible to like trends to a degree where you're gonna eat bugs. Anyway.
Did you know you can stop the rain?
What?
Try it.
Bro, he's gummy as fuck, bro. I just like, sorry, don't get mad at me, but I see those gums, I'm like, no shot. That's a red flag.
How?
It's intended. It's not apart from your consciousness.
Shut the fuck up.
Should we both try and stop the rain?
Let's do it.
Okay. What am I'm gonna just think.
Just visualize a clear sky, for example, and the absence of
Can I close my eyes? Okay.
Be absolutely confident that it has stopped raining in that reality.
There just needs to be a middle-aged, pissed-off, overweight, greasy New York Italian man that strolls into this set, this interview, that just says, "The fuck's the matter with you, eh?" I just feel like that would snap him back to reality really quick.
Despite our combined efforts, the rain prevailed.
It's trying to stop. Okay, 2035 is your stated goal on your website for
That's when singularity will happen.
upgraded civilization. Why 2035?
That's my estimation of when we will have changed so much in all of our levels of our society that one could look back from that point onwards approximately and say we were a changed civilization by then and there was no going back.
Someone in the media has labeled you a cult. It's really hard to ditch that label. How do you feel about being called a cult?
We are a cult. We are a curious, understanding, loving tribe.
I mean, in terms of the definition of cult as something problematic.
I've never experienced cults, so...
Yeah, no shit, buddy, because you run one.
After some of those other people painting that picture, I started doing a little bit more research, just learning about it. Like, why?
He's like, I really beefed up. I really beefed up my fucking my technique. I've seen enough, and a huge victory for the pro-choice side. The Kansas constitutional amendment to remove protections of abortion rights fails. Let's go. Let's fucking go, boys. All right, Kansas, you win this one, okay? Right. Abortions are back on the menu, boys. I'm going to say about to do an abortion just to celebrate this fat dub. Pop them, dude. Hey, listen, in Kansas, pop them if you got them. You know what I mean? Pop those Abora fashions. You know what I mean? Pop them if you got them. No pulling out in Kansas tonight, boys. No fucking pulling out in Kansas tonight. Abortion's on tap. Doesn't that basically prove that abortion rights are actually broadly popular if a state like Kansas votes like this? Yes. And not only that, but I'm willing to bet that it probably drove a lot of people to go out and vote too. Only 25% of votes reported? Yeah, but that means that okay. I can't believe that we're going to fucking go out and describe this once again. But when people are pulling votes, when they're pulling 25% of votes, okay, they're not pulling it from like one district. They're pulling it from all of these districts as they slowly matriculate, okay? They slowly come in. So people like Dave Wasserman look at districts and look at voting patterns inside of districts. And that is precisely why they can analyze, and if it's at 65%, at like 25% of the vote has been has been read so far, as it's tabulating, and it's overwhelmingly in one, overwhelmingly going towards a certain position, then you can predict the pattern from that. And while I don't like Dave Wasserman's politics, I think he sucks overall. He's just doing statistics in this situation. Important to point out that Dave Wasserman is literally like the election scientist who can analyze down to specific precincts based on all sorts of parameters, early vote versus election day vote share, etc. Yeah. We're winning until midnight, then all these votes came in. Now, there are issues with that sometimes. You know, if there's like a new development, like a mass amount of voters voting by mail, like because of COVID or shit like that, that can fuck up the predictions. But I do not recall Wasserman making locks like this and then getting it wrong in any of those other ones. You know what I mean? But usually when Dave Wasserman says, I've seen enough, he's usually right.
This is such a big deal to people. Why do they label it a cult so quickly? What do they even mean?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with cults, so I had to do a little bit of Googling.
They label it a cult. It's because they haven't really experienced the benefit. They see it from the outside in, and it reminds them of things that they fear or are taught to fear. So yeah, I don't know how to answer that question.
If you grow, you're going to have more and more fingers pointing at you, being like, this is elitist and, you know, it's exclusive. Is there a way that you can make it more accessible for more people?
The whole idea is how to make it more accessible.
How about with charge less? But then that would hit your ego because you're a cult leader. So you have to fake perceived value by making the ticket to one of these events so high.
So the first 3 years of teaching, I did everything for free, completely donation-based.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he was like, what the fuck? I can actually get paid doing this shit? Then he looked up a fucking cult video and was like, God damn, what am I doing right now?
But you brought up a good point, which is people perceive that they can't do it, right? They're in a state where I'm in the office, I only have so much money to spend, I can't.
So dumb. Cognates, you have killed a human being. Wow, I am so happy. Cognates! Cognates in the chat! Cognates are in order, folks. You have killed human. I will be able to kill human again. Cognates, okay, for everybody. Cognates to all the ladies, okay? You will be able to continue getting a fucking medical procedure that you should be able to get everywhere. Cognates, this is what happens. Listen, here is a product of a back alley abortion that failed, okay? There is perhaps no better example than why abortion should be legal. Because sometimes your mother is like, I don't want to have one, okay? But because she can't go and get it, she has to do a back alley one, and sometimes it doesn't take. You feel me? What is wrong with why do you want her to die? What? They made a new religious congrats. This is dumb, Cognates. You have killed a human. Wow, I am so happy. Why label abortion as a mere medical procedure is not as simple as that? What do you mean? It quite literally is. Also, what medical procedure is simple, you fucking dickhead? What medical procedure is simple? Chat, chill. That is the slime. That is Slime, the guy from Ludwig's stream. Yeah, that's actually Slime, dude. That's Slime who I had on the stream before. Kissing a boo-boo is simple. Okay, that's fair.
Can't even go on vacation. I don't have the money to do this. And that's one of the most tugging things on my heart, so to speak. It's like, okay, how can we address that?
Imagine gaslighting people into attending one of your events. They got $2,000 to their name, and you're telling them about having an abundance mindset and manifesting the $2,000 to then come to listen to you speak.
That's exactly what we teach, is how to vibrationally upgrade your consciousness and your understanding, and how you apply yourself to life to where you can attract those resources to do what you want to do. And you're not stuck. It is by choice that you're in that job. It's by choice that you have the life you have. And knowing that and doing some of the work, you can change it.
At a moment in human history where things feel more dysfunctional than ever, it can be tempting to want to throw the whole world away and start over. The like-minded spiritual seekers I met here seem to thrive off the more obscure, intangible elements of Bentinho's teachings. With reality,
this guy needs to vibrate more
disappointment,
bitches? What do you
the
mean? He has bitches, dude. At the wazoo, actually. He's a cult leader. Those guys have, you know, they have bitches, dude.
further away from it Bentinho goes, they seem ready to follow and pay for.
What did I say? It's an escape from reality, a method to cope, because these people are weak. Yeah, that's right. I could be a cult leader too.
Okay, we're gonna open the fucking boys. The plan is simple. We're gonna open whatever the fuck Mr. B sent me. Okay, I have no idea what this shit is. Last time I got a fucking bomb basically in the mail, and I freaked the fuck out because I thought, oh my god, someone sent me a mail bomb. Turns out it wasn't.